Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the 2023 verdict state elections. Our continued coverage of the governorship elections, state elections across the country, especially in 28 states of the 36 states of the Federation, where governorship elections held on Saturday, and in some places where they are being rounded up and wrapped up, especially in Lagos, in the VGC area, one area that is delaying and holding back the result, the final result in the collation in Lagos State, and of course the state assembly elections in most parts of the country. Babajide Ogunsanwo, Channels Television's data consultant, is still with us. Thanks so much, Babajide. What an incredible day it's been, because we've been monitoring these and the results are trickling in. We just have another breaking news for you, so stand by, everyone. We'll be giving you the projection of the latest results coming in.
It's surprising. We see Lagos. Remember what happened in Lagos during the presidential election? Out of 20 local governments, Peter Obi won 9 local governments. He won 1 local government from Lagos East, he won 1 local government from Lagos East. He won 2 in Central, and then he won 6 in the West. So it's interesting to see what exactly will happen when these results start coming. One of those local governments where he won, Etiosa, is where we have VGC. So will the numbers from Etiosa change this time around for the Labour Party? We're about to find out. However, what we know about Lagos is that based on the results that have been announced, the Labour Party has only won 1 local government, and that's in Amuwo Odofin. And
that's a very huge number coming from Amuwo Odofin. Amuwo Odofin local government area is one of the heavily populated area, densely populated area of Lagos, and it gives an enormous, huge voting population. A lot of the times, Amuwo Odofin, if you're able to swing Amuwo Odofin, you must be big politically in Lagos to be able to get that kind of vote and appeal to the demography of voters in that part of the state.
That is correct. Amuwo Odofin is 1 out of the 10 local governments across Lagos West. What we've seen is across those 10 local governments in Lagos West during the presidential election, Peter Obi won 6 local governments. In simple terms, Seun, if the presidential election in Lagos State was all about Lagos West, Peter Obi won, because Peter Obi, based on presidential election results, had the majority of votes in Lagos West. Why? So that's one of the reasons why he won Lagos, because he had the majority in Lagos West.
Isn't it ironic too that Peter Obi won in just about 5 or 6 local government areas in Lagos, and he won the presidential election in Lagos, compared to Bola Tinubu that won about 14 to 15 local government areas, but couldn't win the state. But the margin also is something that got a lot of people talking. But we see how it plays out in Lagos, because in the governorship election, this is what it's looking like on our ERAD platform at the moment. It's not yet concluded. A lot can still happen, but then for those that have been concluded, Ogun, yes, of course, we know it's gone in the way of the APC. That has been announced in Gombe. It's gone in the way of the APC. That has been announced in Yobe. The incumbent, May Malabuni, has been announced and declared return. That we know for sure. Jigawa is gone in the way of the APC. That also we know and we can confirm to you. Katsina is gone in the way of the APC. That also we know and can confirm. It's a new governor that they will be having for the next 4 years in President Muhammadu Buhari home state. Well, we can also let you know that tonight we've also been able to confirm Akwa Ibom state that's gone in the way of the APC. That we can confirm to you. And of course, in other areas that we can confirm to you, Ogun, Akwa Ibom, and of course, which other state, Jide? Yeah, that's about it that we know for now that are confirmed. The rest are the colors based on the ERAD platform and the result that we're collating from the IREF portal. And so far, the ones that we are able to confirm and authenticate, these are what things are looking like for now. Abia State is looking in the yellow. It has not been officially confirmed for the Labour Party. Kano is looking blue in the direction of the NNPP. That has not been officially declared and confirmed. But what we have now, we're not making any announcement in those areas. They have not been confirmed just yet, but we'll let you know that as far as we know, based on what we have on the ERAD platform as of now in the iRev portal, and the results have been sent to that platform and collated onto our ERAD platform, this is how things are looking right now.
This is how things are looking right now. I don't know if we have the results from Sokoto yet, or if we have the results from any of the other states in.
For now.
We have Ogun, and yes, we talked about the surprise in Ogun. The governor of Ogun State, though he lost a lot of the local governments in Ogun, won by the last breath.
Absolutely.
Won by the last breath. Won by the last breath. Again, remember there are 11 governors, 11 sitting governors that are up for re-election. 8 of those governors are in northern Nigeria. Dakpo is among the 3 governors. Abiodun is among the 3 governors in southern Nigeria that are up for re-election. The first governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, up for re-election is one of the 11. The second governor, Seyi Makinde, which we've seen the results, up for re-election. The third, Governor Dapo Abiodun, which we've seen his results showing, even though the margins were less, the margins are low, significantly lower than what it was in 2019 when he won. He won 2019 with a margin of 170,000 votes. Here, we see a margin less than 17,000 votes. We see Seyi Makinde, one of the 3 governors in southern Nigeria that were on the re-election ballot. Seyi Makinde won with 2 times the margins he won 4 years ago. You see those numbers, over 300,000 votes margin in this election. Absolutely. In 2019, when Seyi Makinde was candidate, when he was on the ballot, his margin of victory over the APC in 2019 was just about 150,000. So 2 things have happened. In the 2023 presidential election, more people have voted for Seyi Makinde. 2019, Seyi didn't have 563,000 votes. Even though he got to that threshold, 500,000 votes, he didn't have up to 563,000 votes. So we've seen more people come out to vote for him. We've seen him increase his margin of victory despite losing all senatorial districts, despite having more APC members in the House of Reps, despite the presidential candidate of the APC winning by a huge margin in the presidential election.
Of course, my colleagues, Kaudi Okikiolu and Ladi Williams, they are standing by. They will be getting the baton and be adding over to them at some point and getting our viewers, putting them in the know of the latest that will be coming. Guys, I mean, how have you guys been doing?
We could do this all night, just watching you doing your analysis. Beautiful. Watching from home, it's even better when you're watching from right here in our studios. Interesting. I mean, the results that have been coming in, still some states we're expecting tonight. Absolutely. Looks like they might not be going to bed just yet. Well, some have postponed up until the morning, but some are still getting the results in, especially states from the north. You mentioned Sokoto earlier. Very interesting. Well, we'll get to that and just show our viewers what is going on. But this is, I don't know if it's moving at the speed a lot of people expect.
That's another thing.
I mean, slow and steady, maybe.
Well, we'll take slow and steady, you know, at this point, you know, but at the end of the day, some people still expect that these results are supposed to come in, you know, even faster than what we have. It's understandable, but you know, we just said we'll take
but that's
trickles.
That's what the ERAD is doing for us.
Sure.
I mean, those results may not be called and declared just yet, but well, what the ERAD does is that we have been able to monitor and put some transparency in the process, thanks to the partnership between Chinese Television and Yaga Africa. Gives us an understanding. So far, there hasn't been any fallout based on the projections that we've seen on the ERAD. It's looking very close to what the exact figures are and the exact pictures of things. But Jide, this is Kwara State. Are you sort of like, this is a man who rode on the campaign of Otoge, meaning enough is enough, and he got into the government house, and it does look to me that campaign and the slogan was going to be used against him, but that didn't work. He won for his own state, the presidential election for Bola Tinubu, and now he's winning with a similar margin in which he won the APC won the presidential election. It does look to me that consistently APC has shown that they are the owners of Kwara State.
APC has shown that. You see that margin, 120,000 votes. Kwara is important because over time, Kwara, across all the 36 states, is the only state that allows us, based on history, to predict who will become Nigeria's president. Whoever wins in Kwara State always becomes
always
emerged as
and that's
president.
how the north central region of the country has always been a swing. Kwara State has always been a swing state. Anytime elections have been called in Nigeria, it happens that historically anybody who emerges a winner in Kwara State in the presidential election eventually emerges. And this is a state where you've seen the likes of Dr. Olushola Saraki, a very powerful political figure in this country, who gave the baton to his son, who eventually became a two-time governor in Kwara State, became a Senate president, and that guy has held sway in Kwara State, led that family, the political family in Kwara State. They call them Oloye, the nickname or the chieftaincy title of his father, and things have not worked out in the last two election cycles because every side that he stayed, either on this side or the other side, is not one election. And this is Katsina now, the home state of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Again, what we've seen is the numbers that we saw in the presidential election different from the numbers that we're seeing in
Our apologies, Jide. Breaking news right now. Stand by, everyone. Result alert coming through. Sokoto State is where we'll be giving you the winner of the race. And here we have it. In Sokoto State, APC has flipped this state into their own hands. Ahmed Aliyu Sokoto is now the winner with 453,661 votes to defeat the PDP candidate Seudu Omar, who polled 404,632. Breaking news, and the result lab projection that we have for you is coming from the northwestern state of Sokoto, where the APC seems to have flipped it. Now this is the very first upset and the flipping that we have seen so far in this race. Sokoto State holding down, APC holding Sokoto and winning Sokoto. The first flip, Jide.
The first flip, but this is both good news and bad news. Some of it is expected. Why do I say some of this is expected? In the 4 years ago when this election happened in Sokoto State, the governor, Aminu Tambuwal, won by less than 500 votes. That was the closest election 4 years ago. The exact number then was about 352 votes. Those were the margins where Governor Aminu Tambuwal used to defeat his opponents. So what we see here is we see those not as close as it was 4 years ago, but we still see those two numbers: 453,000. 404,000. However, let's not forget what happened in Sokoto State during the presidential election. It was all the way PDP. PDP won, the PDP won in Sokoto State in the presidential election. The PDP won all the states in the Northwest in the presidential election, excluding Jigawa and Zamfara. And so what we've seen is the people did not go the way they went during the presidential election.
So you're spot on. In Sokoto State, for the presidential election, we had PDP with 49% of the vote, and we had APC with 48% of the vote. Very narrow margin there, just less than 2% of the vote. Margin between both of them. The APC with 285,444 votes in the presidential election, and the PDP with 288,679. In fact, it's even more dramatic. This is more dramatic than this. This is just about over 100,000 or more votes between the APC and the PDP in the presidential election in Sokoto. But here, Jide, it's just about 51,000 votes.
Yeah, but beyond the numbers, I'll explain to you why this is very important. In Sokoto State is one among the 7 states in the Northwest shown. Listen to this. With this election, it simply means that all the states in Sokoto, in the Northwest region of the country, are run by one party, the APC. We have to look at what the numbers from the other states will look like, but based on these results, prior to now, Sokoto State was the only state across the 7 states in the Northwest that was controlled by the opposition, PDP, Governor Aminu Tambuwal. If this result stays, if the results from the other states that we're expecting stays in the Northwest, it simply means the Northwest will be home of the APC. No governor based on this result currently is from the opposition.
Interesting. So Zamfara is one state. If you look at it, one state that was won by the APC, but as we speak, is not yet called. We do not know how the state is going. But based on the presidential election result, like you see, the PDP held Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi in the northwestern region of the country, and you see APC taking Zamfara and Jigawa. Interesting scenario playing out, and it's perhaps not so surprising to a lot of people how the APC had won with increasingly incredible number of margin in Jigawa State, holding on to Jigawa, Badaru bowing out, but we have another man that will be in the hands of affair for the next 4 years.
Again, like we said, Northwest Nigeria, PDP winning everything, APC picking. The only two states APC picked, Jigawa and Zamfara, and then we clearly see Kano going to the NNPP in the Northwest. All other states in the Northwest went the way of the PDP. APC picking only two states in the Northwest, presidential election, Jigawa, Zamfara. PDP picking every other state apart from Kano that went to the NNPP. The results from Kano still not complete, but what we know is during the presidential elections, during the National Assembly elections, 2 out of the 3 senatorial districts went to the NNPP. That is a sign of what is about to come.
And so many of the seats that NNPP is having in the House of Representatives for the 10th National Assembly is of the NNPP. One thing that is certain is that if Robbie Kwankwanso does not have the presence in every part of the country, is shown that he's from Kano, is a sound son of the soil, and it's shown that the SSS status that he has proven over the years in Kano State, being a 2-term governor, a former minister, is shown that he has that depth and that presence in Kano. He's shown it in the presidential election, winning that only state for himself and the NNPP. It's looking like he's going to do that again for the governorship election. The figures that we've seen so far is a close race. How that will pan out is still left to be seen. But if we go back to what the governorship election map is showing us and what we're looking at, that is the only blue. Look at it today. The lot of difference that this is going to make is Zamfara is eventually called. If this stays green, that means something. One of the incumbent that we're talking about, if he flips, that means there's a dangerous trend for the APC there. It means then that it's returned, because Matawali was for the PDP, but now is in APC. That has not been called yet. That's not been determined. But yet we'll be looking and waiting for how this all pans out.
We'll be looking and waiting for all the numbers.
Indeed, is looking interesting, because Lagos right here is a huge one politically in Nigeria. And any way you are looking at it, Lagos is indeed a very significant one. And you see the kind of controversy that we're watching and looking at in what comes out of Lagos.
Very significant, huge potential. IGR of in 2021, based on the statistics from the National Bureau of Statistics, telling us the potential of Lagos. Internally generated revenue of 753 billion naira. In simple terms, on an average, Lagos generates 2 billion naira every day. 2 billion naira is what is at stake for internally generated revenue. Who will lead this state? Right now, we've seen results from 19 out of 20 local governments. The state governor, our sitting governor, has won 18 out of the 19 local governments that have been declared. Only Amuwo Odofin has gone to the Labour Party. We're expecting that last result from that local government, Etiosa, which is what we're expecting. But we remember that in the presidential election, Etiosa was won by the Labour Party. Etiosa was one of the 9 local governments Peter Obi of the Labour Party won during the presidential election. However, based on the results we currently have from the 19 local governments shown, it will be easier for a mouse to kill a cat than for you to stop Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu from winning Lagos.
From the figures that are already presented.
From the figures that have been currently presented. What we, however, know is that when this election happened 4 years ago, the election that brought him into office, candidate Babajide Sanwo-Olu won all the 20 local governments in Lagos 4 years ago.
Obviously, that is not going to happen because Amuwo Odofin has been declared for the Labour Party.
Amuwo has been declared for the Labour Party. In 2019, during that election, his margin of victory in 2019 was 533. 1,000 votes. We're going to look at this election. Yes, we know he's lost Amu Odofin. If he wins based on the results from INEC, we're going to be looking at two things. First is what sort of numbers, what sort of margins did he have? Well, beyond that, a lot of people are also concerned and worried about the process in Lagos. And yes, despite the challenges we've seen with our electoral process, not just in Lagos, all across the country, the summary is our democracy needs to be more democratic.
Absolutely. So that the RF portal there, the origin of a re-erad platform where we get all the results from to put them together for you to make sense of it. So we're looking at into Lagos now, the percentage of results that are so far being turned in, and of course you can head there and see for yourself. Well, it's been an incredible evening, Babajide Ogunsowo. Thank you so much indeed. Do you have some final thought on some of the results and the expectations for tonight?
The most important thing is beyond the numbers, beyond all this politics, what it's really all about is hope for the future. And we're expecting that whoever wins across the 28 states, whoever will lead the people, we also know that there are state of assembly elections that happened, which means that the state governor needs to work with the House of Assembly members to be able to bring up policies and development programs that will improve the lives of all Nigerians living across the states. We know we have huge challenges, not just on infrastructure, out of school children. We know there are security concerns that are going around the country, but we see a lot of improvements in security in the Northeast, and we see challenges in the Northwest. So we also see that the state governors will play a big role in shaping the face of a new Nigeria. When these elections are concluded, Nigeria will be a new Nigeria. Why do we say that? And that's because majority of the state governors that will emerge from this election, what is guaranteed is 17 at the minimum, 17 new governors will be revealed.
Absolutely. So there are more results to be announced, some of them tomorrow, like in Cross River State and Enugu State. These are collations that will continue tomorrow. Lagos looks like it's going to be completed today, just like you see in the little box on your screen. But this is how myself, Babajide Ogunsowo, will be bowing out and handing you over to in the able hands of my colleague Kayode Okikiolu and Ladi Williams. Guys,
what a night it's been. You should catch some rest right now. I doubt you will be able to catch some rest, because I imagine you have your eyes and ears, on the result. But wonderful, wonderful moment it's been. So let's get the baton right now and run with it.